Hello and welcome back to Nobody Does It FK Metta here on Football Manager 2022, and we are at the end of Season 9, and as you can see we've won 2 trophies, but did we actually only win 2? That's going to be the surprise, because this end of season review doesn't actually tell me when you won an extra trophy in the season or not. So we've won the league and we've won the cup, but did we win anything else? The way I'm talking makes it sound like yes, but maybe it's not. We'll see how it goes. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for the support on the previous episode. I am recording this the morning of the 12th of October. So the 10th of October's episode, season 8, has been up for about 2 days. And I don't know what has happened, but for some reason people have been flocking to that video. People have been subscribing, liking the video. So thank you so much. I mean, if you're one of the new guys around here, welcome. This is going to be the same for another couple of weeks until the new game comes out, and I might make a video detailing my plans for the next game, which comes out in around 2 weeks, hopefully, with the beta. But that's enough chit chat. Let's get into what we did as FK Meta Manager here in Season 9. So transfers in wise, I had what I thought was a incredibly good transfer window for the first time in a couple years now. We did sign 5 players. We got them all in quite comfortably, quite cheap as well. So we started with Diego Antonio, a midfielder from Brazil, from Rio Branco. 40 appearances in total, 2 goals and 5 assists, but just a very, very solid player. If you look at him, he's pretty good out of the bat already. He's an upgrade on sort of what we had, which we do have to start making these sort of moves now, getting really good players in straight away to come in the team. We're going to have to lose some favourites, but that's part of the game, unfortunately. We also brought in Rafael Durand, a Peruvian international now. Doesn't look the greatest when you see him just on the stats, but 12 assists and 5 goals in 36 games. Good pretty much across the board. I don't need him for good long shots. He's quite fast, he's got good technique, good work rate, teamwork, passing, crossing and dribbling's pretty good. He's just a bit better than what we had on the right wing with Novikovs or Grinbergs a lot of the time. As good as Grinbergs is, and we'll talk about him soon, don't worry. We talked about Gor Karpatyan, I believe, in the last episode, but he is now in. He's been excellent, and there's nothing else really more to say about Gor. Armenian international, 4.5 star current and potential ability, 22 years old, a beast. Kevin Thompson came in, not that one, the commentator and former Hibs Rangers man. It's an Icelandic international, a very just good player. Free transfer as well from Aalborg in Denmark, and he's just excellent across the board, really. 3.5 star current ability. He's got room to improve. Only 19. This guy is, I think he's outstanding. He's been really good this season as well. 8 assists, 4 goals, and 40 appearances, 7.23 average rating. Just a solid player. And lastly, so 24 appearances, 3 goals, 4 assists, only a 6.97 rating, but for £170,000 from Orlando Pirates, we brought in Sifamanla Tladi. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name or not, but Tladi is what we'll just call him. If you know his correct pronunciation, let me know. A winger. Now, we talked about the right wing, and now we've got the left wing, where for years and years and years we have had Panda. Now, Panda's still very good, but this guy's better. Driven personality, better stats across the board than Panda. I think he's a better player than Panda. He's 19 as well. Panda's now 24, I believe. And we've been using this guy a bit more in the bigger games than Panda. I think Panda's time might be coming to an end as a starter for us. Because he's a Latvian international Panda, we might have to move him to another team in the division. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, Taladi came in and he's been superb. On the outs, nothing really of note beyond one, as you can see there. Fagner Henrik did leave. £105,000. He was out the contract at the end of this season, and he went to Chapecoense in Brazil. Now, we tried to sell him to Riga. He was not budging, so we just had to cash in the end on him. Excellent player for us. We will miss him a lot, but we won't really miss him. We've scored lots of goals again. Eldrikas went to Liepāja, Zelaya went to Valmiera, and then Idowu and Puzarevskis are not really worth mentioning, to be honest. But Zelaya going to Valmiera and having a good season, and Eldrikas having a good season as well. I'm happy to see from you guys. We do have one more transfer out that we need to talk about though when we get to that stage. And this season's results. Now, the spoiler is on the page already. So, it's not on the screen because we didn't qualify for the Europa League, but we did win the Europa League last season. I don't know how we did it beyond having a very favourable draw, but we did win the Europa League. Now, I'll go on about that when we finish the season review, but we did win the Europa League. We're very happy about this, but for now, let's just talk about the league. So, unbeaten season again, 2 draws, 34 wins, 104 points, Silva top goal scorer, 3,105 average attendance. The attendance is going up. At long last, the attendance is finally rising going to a really good level. Hopefully that can just keep going. 29% stadium full, not good enough. We also won the Latvian Cup. As you can see, a pretty routine route to the final. We didn't really play anybody good except for Riga. Grinberg's top goal scorer. Again, more about him. In the UEFA Super Cup, we did lose 3-0 to PSG. Not a surprise, to be honest. PSG are just, much better than us. And in the Champions League this season, we've had a pretty excellent campaign so far. We finished second in our group. Because we were a top seed, we obviously managed to get a slightly easier group than usual. And despite 2 defeats back to Atletico Madrid, we managed to beat Shakhtar twice and get 4 points against Slavia Prague to finish second in the group. And we're awaiting our draw for the first knockout round of the Champions League, which we'll talk about obviously in the next episode. In terms of the finances, again, the key thing as always, the shirt sales are nearly at 2,000. We've went over 1,000 by a mile. 1,760 shirts being sold. Silva, of course, top seller because of course it was. And our reputation has increased as well to national 3-star club now from a 2.5. We are on the up and up and up and up. As you can see, sponsorships up, everything's up except for broadcast revenue, which has gone down for some reason. But 37 million in prize money, everything is coming up beautifully. And in terms of the stats now, as you can see here, Panda was the player of the season, despite the fact I was talking about maybe replacing him. But we'll come to all that in a moment. Grinberg's has now the top league appearance by a player for the top club with 291 appearances overall. Silva with 157 goals for the club. Grinberg's most assists, player of the match as well. Grinberg's has had a unreal season, by the way. And that's it for the season review part of the episode. So let's quickly look at our Europa League camp. So when you were last with us, we obviously hadn't been drawn, and I forgot that we went into the second knockout round rather than the first, so we had quite a long while to wait. But we got Celtic, who we have been beaten by before, and we did manage to come through that with a 2-0 aggregate win, 1-0 win in Glasgow and a 1-0 win in Latvia. We then had Sevilla, and we managed to beat them 3-1 at home before losing 2-1 away, but having just done enough at home to progress to the semi-final, where we met Benfica, who we beat 2-1 in aggregate, and then somehow, someway, we beat Arsenal in the final of the Europa League. I don't quite know how we did it. All I remember is, because I can't click on the full match details because of saving space reasons, but we basically were heroic from our keeper Gutierrez. Panda got sent off near the end of the game, so it was squeaky bum time the whole end of the game. We got totally outplayed, but we managed to score 2 goals. They only scored 1. We won the Europa League. We were absolutely loving life. And as you can see, the finances, we've got 50 million to spend. We've got 350 grand to spend on wages. The projection's just going up and up. The club is in the best state it's ever been in its life. The club info screen again. The youth facilities and youth recruitment I'd like to start putting up again, but the board won't let me at this moment in time. We're still a legend at the club along with Panda, Silva, Fagnanuk, Yanis Grimbergs and Dejan Nikolov already, an icon at the team. We'll talk about Nikolov quite a bit in a moment too. In terms of the club vision, because I've always enjoyed this screen, they actually want us to win the league now, by the way. It only took 8 league seasons in a row, but they want us to win the league every season. So, about time guys. We still can't ask about facilities yet, which is a bit annoying. So, on the transfers out, now the big one you'll see here is, of course, Nemanja Duričić leaving on a free transfer to Vozdovac. I know that's what nobody thought. So, Nemanja Duričić is leaving on a free. He was on a contract. Vozdovac put in the contract offer. We decided to put one in as well, and he turned us down. So, Duričić is off. Goodbye. I mean, you were a decent player. I probably would have looked to sell him anyway this coming season, but he's off. Goodbye. But the sad one is we are going to have to look for a new right back, as Tanadul Mudadum is leaving for £20 million, 14.25 million up front, 20 million with instalments to Antwerp. Now I know what you're thinking, why on earth has this happened? So PSG came in with a bid, and you know where I've gone with this already. So PSG came in with a bid, and he wanted to go. They offered 6 million. I said no, because absolutely not. And then it kicked off, put up a fuss, and was out of contract at the end of next season, or was it end of this season? One of the two, end of next season he was out of contract. So we had the choice of have a player for an extra year and lose him for free, or do we try and cash in? So after multiple attempts offering him out, PSG never came back in for him. Antwerp came in with this bid, and he's happy enough to go to Antwerp, who I don't think are even in the Champions League. So well done, Tanadol, you absolute idiot. I'm going to miss him though, because look at him, he's just a great player. I'm going to have to find a new right back, so that's fun. But if we look at the squad overall, in terms of the goal distribution, as you can see, Silva, 36 goals, a little bit less than previous previous years, but he's still just a beast. I mean, we rotated him a lot in the league, as you can see, so he did score a little bit less than usual. 8 in the Champions League, 2 in the Cup of 4 bench appearances, and 4 and 6 for the Latvia national team as well, which again we'll come to. But yeah, he's pretty good. Just a goal machine, Silva. His star rating is going down and down and down, but for now we are not going to consider selling Silva. The other real star of the season was of course Dejan Nikolov, the 21-year-old Macedonian, still improving. 25 goals overall in the season, 20 of them in the league, of 15 starts and 14 sub appearances. And I mean, he's good, isn't he? He's really good. Like, I don't know why they keep thinking he's a winger. He's a striker through and through, this man. He's just unreal. 11 caps for Macedonia, 3 goals, 3... I think he's got a hat trick, actually. I don't know what his 3 goals was. But he's just improving rapidly. He's someone who I hope we can keep for a good long time. We've tied him down to a new 5-year contract as well, so that's always nice. Giannis Grinbergs. Now, he is unhappy because he feels like he's achieved everything he can do at the club. Now, well, that's technically true. We're not letting him leave. He signed a 5-year contract last season. He's not going anywhere. 19 goals, 13 assists. He was our main man in the league. Now, he did score 10 penalties of 11 penalty attempts. So, a lot of penalties from Grinbergs, but goal machine. Goal machine. Still love him. Yes, he's not going to improve anymore. He's probably going to get worse, and he's probably a hindrance to the squad in terms of ability. But, I mean, he's just beautiful, isn't he? Baptiste Sonogo, with quite a few goals this season as well, is a makeshift striker and midfield option. We can improve on this guy, and we probably will improve on him going forward. Panda. Now, Panda's good, as you can see, but we did play him less and less as the season went on. I think Panda's time might be up. Maybe not this season, but he is out of contract in a couple years' time. I think we might look to try and move him to a team in Latvia, so he can be a full-time starter for the national team as well. The same is probably going for Diego Luna. Again, has played less and less since we brought in better players. Is now a Latvian international, but it might be time to say goodbye to some of the old guard. I know it's quite sad, but it might be time, especially with these new guys all coming in. Some other key players this season, Mark Lorentzen. If you look at the average rating, he's still way down here, but Mark Lorentzen's had a really solid season for us. Got him down for another couple years. Consistent centre back, improving, 20 years old. He's been capped by the Denmark national team. Just a good all-round player. And of course, the main man, Luis Gutierrez, who doesn't want to switch nationality, which is very sad because we would love to have Luis Gutierrez on our team, but he doesn't want to play for Latvia. Understandable to an extent, but you know, sad all the same. In terms of the youth candidates, no one really strong came through. We had Igor Fyodorovs, who could be a good centre forward, so we'll keep an eye on him. He's got some of the decent stats already, so he is ready to be better than Silva and Sonogo and other guys, but we'll see. He's not got consistency. It's a big issue. He's also, you know, a ragerhead. If we have a look at the First Liga though as well, some things to mention. So the league is now ranked 40th overall, thanks to our successes in the Europa League last season. We've jumped up 9 positions. We are rising slowly but surely. We are getting into the top of the European football leagues. We are starting to get above Sky Bet League 1 and other such beautiful leagues as that, but we're starting to get there. I'm hoping by the end of the season we can get near the 20 range, because I've realistically only got a couple of episodes left. But if we have a look, as we can see, Liepāja, RFS and Riga continuing to qualify for Europe every season. It's the same top 4 pretty much every year beyond the occasional odd year. So if we have a look at how these teams did in Europe, shall we? So Riga actually managed to get past TNS in the second qualifying round before. Now, I don't know if I should be mad at this or not. So they got beat by Hearts 4-2 overall. Now, I'm a Hearts fan, so in a way, yay, but in a way, God's sake, guys, you know, like, it's Hearts. I mean, you've seen us this season. It's absolutely horrible to watch. So, disappointing overall. Apparently, Caljw is still playing for us, which, I mean, he's not that good in real life, I'll put it that way. RFS also managed to get to the third playoff round, but they did get beat by Antwerp. Of course, it's like teams that I just know at this point now that are punishing me. They got past Vardar, Antwerp beat them 4-1 in aggregate. RFS disappointingly can't get further than that, but at least both of them got through the first round of the qualifying. And what about Liepāja? Liepāja with their key player Prince Adu, our old hero, and they had the same fate. They got through the second qualifying round but knocked out in the third. A 1-0 aggregate defeat defeat to Maccabi Tel Aviv. It's disappointing, but I mean, at least they all managed to win one round of fixtures in Europe this year, so they're improving slowly but surely. Hopefully next season they can keep progressing on that front. In terms of the league's qualification, Champions League second qualifying round now for us, and it's all second qualifying rounds for the Europa Conference League as well. I'm hoping that we can get this up to third qualifying round, so it's just less games to play at the start of the season for us. We'll just quickly talk about Latvia. So we had our World Cup qualifying group that was Germany, Sweden, Montenegro and Iceland, and as you can see we finished third with 3 wins, 5 beats and 9 goals in total. We did actually tie the division second with Germany somehow, but it was a decent campaign. The board were okay with it, which I don't quite understand. We're still in the 100s in the national rankings, but we did manage to have a few decent results here. So we lost, if we get back to the right page, here we go. We lost 2-0 to Sweden, 1-0 to Germany. We did manage to beat Montenegro 1-0 for a 2-1 defeat to Iceland, a 5-0 defeat to Sweden, an inexplicable 1-0 home win against Germany before a 1-0 defeat to Montenegro, and then we finished with a 3-0 win over Iceland, a 1-0 win over Lithuania, chucked in there as well. We're improving as a nation. We do have, as I said, a few of our players now. Silva, Luna, Panda are all guys that have featured in the national setup recently. It's a fun little side thing. I don't know how many more seasons I'm going to do of this, but with Latvia that is, not in general. But that's kind of it for this episode today. Once again, thank you so much for the support on the previous episode. Please do drop a like on this video if you have enjoyed it, even if you've just skimmed through it. I don't mind. I skim through videos a lot of the time as well. If you just want to find the key points you want to watch, go for it, guys. I said I might make a video in the next couple of days about my plans for Football Manager 23, but until then, I'll be back in a few days' time, hopefully, with the next season, and hopefully we'll have more success to talk about. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.